Okay, I want to introduce you to three guys from a place called Idea Labs. These are thinkers, and we want to have them pontificate for us, but first we'll figure out what Idea Labs exactly is after we figure out who they are. Michael Glaymore, urology resident, Washington University School of Medicine. Also Ian Skillebakes, Idea Labs, and Blake Margraf, also with Idea Labs. Okay, so Idea Labs is?
Idea Labs is a way for students to work together, especially students from different schools, undergrads, grads, even medical students, to build ideas in a safe environment that not only encourages failure, but also helps them scale their ideas on the business side once they have the technical stuff down.
And so is this a function of Washington University?
So I'll let Ian explain. It's actually way beyond and way more concentrated than WashU.
Right, so fundamentally we are a nonprofit organization, but we do also function in a sort of a student chapter way as well, because WashU is one of our major stakeholders and major supporters, that we can kind of play both cards. But fundamentally we're a nonprofit that is aiming to produce entrepreneurs like Blake and Mike, and to create medical device companies from problems in the hospital.
So how is this space different, Ian, or the two of you as you've experienced it? You said something to me before, IP.
Right. So
this is not the internet protocol you're talking about.
No, intellectual property.
Thanks for laughing at my internet joke.
It was very good.
Yeah, man. We're a bunch of nerds.
Idea Lab.
Right.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about incentive structures, right? And developing St. Louis as a community, and then on the more micro scale, building out an organization that encourages students to take these risks, to break away from the coursework and move an idea forward. And one of the ways to do that is to make sure that the students own everything they create. And that's where I think the genius behind Idea Labs kicks in. It's an IP umbrella. It means that students can safely create new intellectual property and then own that in the business sense as well as the technical sense moving forward.
The IP being intellectual property. Okay, so where do you see innovation today? We've been talking a lot about the space race. That's a long time ago. And someone mentioned too that we got excited or we got focused when we realized we were behind. What's the state of innovation as you see it today?
I know in the medical field it's absolutely booming. Feels like every day you find out about some new technology that doctors are trying to use in the operating room. And for us, we keep seeing that we see challenges because we're on the front lines. I'm a resident at WashU, and I'm constantly seeing things that could be better and could help me more. So being able to get hooked up with Idea Labs and actually find a team and the tools to work out that idea and actually make a prototype and then actually use the business side of things to be able to market the idea, get intellectual property. It was phenomenal.
Are you operating in a bubble, or do you feel connected and supported or held back by the rest of St. Louis?
As far as we operate mainly within the Washington University, and in that case it's been really absolutely necessary because we need the PhD students, we need the master's students, and the undergrads. But we haven't branched out too much beyond Washington University in general, but I think a couple of the groups have.
How's that relationship with the city and what you guys are doing, the region, I should say, because we're not just talking about the city?
Right, that's a really good point. And actually, the tremendous growth we've seen and the kind of outcomes that we've produced, for instance, companies that are eliciting angel investment and that are becoming real companies and creating products to enter into clinic, we're seeing with those successes and that traction that we're able to grow in the whole region. And so our really aim is to take all this awesome support we've been getting from BioSTL, the Cortex area, CIC, Washington University, and our plan is really to grow beyond the WashU walls and become a regional resource to be this kind of very nascent incubation type platform.
Give me the mindset of an innovator. We heard someone say that the Woz Apple was a hero. Do you think back to is the history of this region important to you, or are you just going a million miles an hour and you don't care and you don't think about the past? And is there any value in knowing the innovators that came before you? I'm curious if that's even on your mind.
The innovators that came before us. So I think, in St. Louis today more than ever, it's not the innovators that came before, unless you go all the way back to the World Fair. It's the innovators that are with us right now, and both on the support side You know, we have BioSTL, we have Arch Reactor, we have Arch Grants, with which I'm connected, right? But then on the company side, we see companies like LockerDome, which are doing amazing things on just the tech side. You asked earlier, Casey, what most excites us about research and innovation, and I think a combination of education and digital health is going to turn St. Louis into the next, you know, beyond tech area.
What do you mean digital health?
Digital health is one of my favorite things. So the concept.
Is this the Fitbit?
This is the Fitbit. So I describe digital health right now. Hospitals are the platform of healthcare and wellness, right? I think within 20 years, much sooner in many cases, it's going to be anything that you own with a battery is going to be the platform that helps you stay and be well. And that's incredibly compelling. That also means that suddenly it's not just one screen or one device that's an opportunity for entrepreneurs here. It's truly everybody who has medical experience, technical experience in the area.
Your phone is checking in with your doctor. Your watch is taking your heart rate. Your sweatband knows your cholesterol. I don't know.
It's a scary day when that happens.
Well, I sweat a lot, so I wear bands. But you're tying that back into existing medical facilities. You think because we have a I think our largest employer here,
yep.
BJC, is obviously in the med business. Is that what excites you about this region when you're looking in the future there?
That's certainly what excites me. You know, we have a thought-leading institution paired with a bunch of talent from not only in St. Louis but in surrounding universities, and that's a pretty cool platform to get started with.
I just want to talk about. So we've talked about education, the role it plays, the students who come here, the entrepreneurs who come here. We also heard though at the beginning from Dennis, people leave too at some point. You see that? Do you yourself? You think you'll be leaving soon?
I'm an example of that. I mean, so I'm a resident here, so I'll most likely be in St. Louis for a 5-year period, and then not every doctor can stick around, or else St. Louis would have a couple too many doctors. So I'll likely be leaving the area as well.
That's a process that's kind of out of your hands to some degree. To some degree, getting matched with where you get matched, I guess.
Right. So for me in particular, I'm trying to gain as much skills as I can while I'm here, and St. Louis has been really incredible for that. So I feel pretty lucky to be training in such a great city and such a great hospital system so that I can then go off to other places and continue to use what I've learned.
Ian, beyond those who have more control over their own destiny and their own location, what do you see?
Yeah, so I think there's, and that's part of the great thing that Idea Labs too. You've touched upon this kind of talent drain that happens in St. Louis, that people have diagnosed it, and you know, Idea Labs impacts 140 students from WashU, and what we're effectively doing is trying to serve the Kool-Aid that we hope they drink and really get hooked to the entrepreneur environment and see all the great resources that exist in St. Louis. Yeah. Because you know, I think the people on the inside see all the value and all the resources to be leveraged, but it's really kind of working on maybe our PR and trying to spread that message and spread those, telling people about all these resources and getting them involved and hooked. And it's maybe just as important as providing the services themselves. So there's definitely tons of opportunities, and I think we're seeing now that as St. Louis becomes we're the top 5 biotech innovators of the nation, but as we become the top 3 and hopefully the best, hopefully the PR will get us there along the way.